know you are eager. I know you are eager to listen to Suhas Joshi. So I will ask Rohan Gupta to introduce him. Thank you, everyone.
Hi, everyone. Good evening to our much awaited first of the month, even though it's second of the month, special guest speaker series. I hope you can all see me and you can hear me. Um, Before I introduce our speaker for the evening, I'd just like to go over a little bit of a ground housekeeping rules, which is you will notice that you're unable to unmute yourselves or start your video, and that's just because we don't want to interfere with the presentation, specifically because it has to do with music in today's instance. So please do bear with us on that note. You are free to ask any questions that you would like in the chat box, and I will be monitoring that and answering them unless the speaker has already done that. And I will take note of them. And then at the end of the session, the last 10 to 15 minutes, we will get to those questions, and the speaker will be happy to answer those questions. So, yes, as Manjari mentioned, today is a very special occasion. We have Suhas Joshi ji, who is a classical singer and belongs to the Mewati Gharana of music. He is a senior disciple of Guruji Padma Shri Pandita Tripati Mukherjee and, of course, Bade Guruji Sangeet Martand Padma Vibhushan Pandit Jasraj ji. Suhasji has sung many concerts in the US, India, and Europe. He sung for the Indian Armed Forces in Pune and earlier this year in Banaras at the Indira Gandhi National Center for Arts. He's obviously sung for TV, radio, and his own CD. Apart from being a recipient of several awards, he is known as Swar Gaurav, Mewati Adeshri, etc. He started the Raag and Rhythm for Health in 2024 as a social service. I will let him introduce the topic of his talk and how he uses Hindustani classical music for mental health and mental well being or general well being, as well as this wonderful app that he has developed. So, over to you, Suhasji. Most welcome.
Namaste. Namaste, Manjari ji. Namaste, Rohan ji. Thank you very much for inviting me. Um, and welcome to all the members of the audience. Thank you very much for attending today's call. I hope the weather is good in Chennai. I hear it's raining very heavily in Pune, but I hope that weather is good and you are all able to hear me. Right, so let's begin the presentation. I have a slide presentation and hope you can see my slide. So the program for today is Swara Sanjeevani. It's basically about Raag and Rhythm for health. It's about
I'm so sorry,
using music
Suhasji. Could
as
I ask you to
therapy.
speak a little closer to the mic? Somebody is
Okay,
complaining that we can't hear
okay,
you properly.
okay, okay. Can you hear me now?
Rujita Bharati, is that okay?
Yeah, can you hear me now? Otherwise, I'll have to I'll adjust the
I can
microphone.
hear you fine.
Yeah, I mean, earlier when we did the sound check.
Oh, okay. It's okay.
Uh,
Please continue.
okay, all right. So agenda for today: introduction, and then basic concepts about rag and healing, concepts about rag and the time connection, ragas and specific disorders, and I'll touch upon mental health as well, and then the Cure Tune mobile app that Rohanji mentioned, and best practices and Q&A. So without further ado, I'll jump into this. I met Dr. Vartak sir in Pune about 2 months ago, to be precise, on May 10th. And I gave him a brief introduction about Raag and Rhythm for Health, and he immediately said that it would be of interest, it would be complementary to what Eklavya Foundation does. He also presented me a copy of the book that Manjari ji mentioned. I have been going through that book, and indeed, I can appreciate the work that Eklavya Foundation is doing, and I felt like what music can do will be indeed helpful and complementary to the efforts of Eklavya Foundation. Um, so once again, thank you very much for Manjari ji and Rohan ji for organizing this webinar. It took a little bit of effort, but we are here, and hopefully the sound system and all the technology will work together. So once again, thank you and a warm welcome to all the Shubharthis and the Shubhankars, and wishing you all the best in your efforts. So a quick introduction to Raag and Rhythm for Health. Back in November 2023, I helped two of my sleepless friends. I had heard from Guruji about the effects of Raag Darbari and how it can make the listener feel at ease. And so I just thought that I will record an alap in Raag Darbari for them. I just recorded it on my mobile phone and I sent it to them. Interestingly, both of them they came back in a couple of weeks and they said that it was really helpful for them. It made them feel drowsy, and it made them feel like they were about to fall asleep, and they indeed found it very helpful. So then that was an eye-opener experience for me. Even though it was about sleeplessness, it opened my eyes, and I said we can use Raag and Rhythm for health, meaning music to improve health, and really deliver it as a social service to the people who really need it and who appreciate it. So stress, anxiety, sleeplessness, and mental health are common concerns. We often face them in day-to-day life, and therefore along with a few musician friends, I started the Raag and Rhythm for Health initiative in June 2024. So it's been exactly 2 years and a month since we started. So we decided that as a social service, we will we will release one music podcast every month. And so in that sense, since it's been about 25 months, we have released about 25 podcasts. We have been regularly releasing podcasts. We also released the Cure Tune mobile app, and I will talk a little bit more about that app during the presentation. But this app has been released also recently in June 2026. This is a social service, so all our podcasts as well as the Cure Tune mobile app is free. And because of the internet and WhatsApp, hundreds of people across the globe are listening to this very actively. We have listeners in USA, India, Australia, Europe, and so on and so forth. We get very good comments from our listeners. I'll briefly show them here. So one of the listeners said that my mind became calm and more focused. Decision-making capability improved. One of the listeners from Ratnagiri, India said that it helped, the music helped his mind to move away from joint pain, felt a sense of positive energy. One of the listeners from Georgia in USA said that it definitely calmed her down, and at the end of the day she could sleep better. Felt like healing from sadness, and the inner spirit experienced a very abstract emotion. I saw much happiness, hope and joy in the music from Delaware, USA. And one of the listeners from Pune said that he got a much needed relief after surgery. So these are just some of the comments. We keep receiving such comments all the time about the podcasts. And a quick introduction to our team here. So if you go clockwise, myself, I do the vocals. Shailesh Chirputkar, he plays harmonium. Gopal Kalluri plays tabla. Madhuk Shirsagar, flute. And then Asavari Thomre, Dr. Asavari Thomre, she is our music therapy consultant. She is an accomplished music therapist and has been practicing in Pune for a number of years. So she has given us a lot of inputs about which ragas do what kind of a benefit to the human mind and body, and that has been very helpful for us in planning all our podcasts. So quick introduction about ragas in case you have not heard about it or have not had an opportunity to get into the details. Any impact that produces nad or a sound with a specific frequency that's also melodious to the ears is a nad, right? So the sound of a train is not a nad. I mean, it's not pleasing to the ears, right? It's not necessarily a swar. So a swar is a repeatable, pleasant nad. Long swars make a positive impact on mind and body. So if the swar is of a short duration, then if it doesn't last longer, then it has very little impact on the mind and body. So very often when you hear a song in 2 minutes or 3 minutes, if the song is played or sung in a higher tempo, the swars are also of shorter duration, and the impact they produce will evaporate in a few minutes or hours. But the long lasting swars are the ones that will make positive impact and that will keep lingering in your mind, and that's what causes a good effect, a beneficial effect on the mental health as well as the physical health. So a rag is formed by using a set of swars in aroha, meaning ascent and descent, and we will illustrate these concepts later on. A rag has a vadi, meaning a dominant swar, and a samvadi, which is the second dominant swar. So think about it as a captain and a deputy captain, so to speak, for the kind of swara samuha, as we call it, meaning the combination of notes. The vadi is the captain and the samvadi is the deputy captain. So there is a connection between rag and the time of the day. At least in Hindustani classical music or North Indian classical music, we observe that connection. And so, in other words, there are certain ragas that are better suited in the morning, some are better suited in the afternoon, some in the evening, and some in the night and late night. So the rag creates a bhav or a mood, right? Words associated with that rag, they create a bhavana or an emotion. So there are subtle differences between these concepts, and as you will appreciate, in vocal music we often associate words, but in our presentations we also give emphasis to creating that mood, and the mood is created by using the swars more than the words, and the words that are used as an example are Om Shri Ananta Hari Narayana, as an example in the alap that we do, or just simply the ah sound. And so that sound, it gives you a sort of a blank template or a blank canvas. So your mind is not tied down to any words, your mind is not tied down to any particular rhythm. And so in that sense, the alap will put your mind at rest, will put your mind at ease. So that's very important in the presentation that we do. So a quick review of the connection between Ayurveda and Rag. So how do we explain how music helps health? And so this is a very short explanation. Ayurveda recognizes 3 doshas in the body. Doshas are really energy forces. The word dosha is really it represents an energy force. So there are 3 doshas mentioned here: kapha, pitta, and vata. So kapha represents the earth and water, pitta represents fire, and vata represents air and space. So kapha produces stability, pitta produces intensity, and vata produces movement. So the excess of any of these energy forces within your body causes ill effects. So kapha, for instance, if it exceeds a certain proportion, it can result into weight gain, and then further into diabetes and so on and so forth. Pitta results into anger, as well as acidity, inflammation, etc. And vata creates bloating, gas, restlessness. That's very important from a mental health standpoint. So all these energy forces need to be balanced. And then the conclusion is that the listening to a rag at an appropriate time increases or decreases kapha, vata, and pitta, and the balance of these three forces leads to good health. It's often said that good sleep is very important for um, good health, and therefore the balance of these can also result into good sleep and a good mental state that can lead to peace and quiet. So the other way of looking at this is through the chakras. So just as we saw the energy forces within the body, there are energy nodes that regulate body's physical, spiritual, and mental functions. So these are the 7 chakras, and it's believed that 7 notes or the 7 swaras, they influence or they activate certain chakras, and so that is shown here. The Mooladhara chakra is activated by the base note Sa, and the 7th note, that's Nishad or Ni, is activated by the Sahasrara chakra. So listening to a rag activates certain chakras in the body, and as we mentioned earlier, there are the Vadi and Samvadi swars. So depending on the dominant notes, depending on how they interplay with the other notes, it creates a good influence on the mind and the body. Right. So as I mentioned, there is a connection between the time and the rag, and so this is a short summary of how the 3 raga families I have mentioned here: Bhairav family, Todi family, and the Asavari family. So if you consider the period from 4 a.m. to 10 a.m. in the morning, the body is sluggish. It needs to overcome that sluggishness after getting after getting up, and the mind also needs some focus as to where to go. And so the swars in these ragas, they help improve the movement, right? Because you need to get the body activated. It also reduces the stability. So too much of stability causes sluggishness. So if the kapha is reduced, then you feel energetic and fresh. You bring positive thoughts to your mind. Your behavior is pleasant, and the mental focus is also sharpened. So in the morning, these are called ragas that can be used for meditation. They are also used for focusing your mind towards the divine. And if you listen to this, or if you practice this rag in the morning, then the vibrations remain with you throughout the day, and that leads to a better outcome in the day. So get energized and enhance your intellectual activity with the morning ragas, right? So that's the benefits of listening to or practicing in any way. When I say listening to, it can be active listening. It can also mean singing. It can also mean playing. It can also mean humming, right? So it's not that you are just listening and then it goes into one ear and then comes out of the other ear, but your brain has to absorb it, and then only it can lead to a better impact and some benefit. So are you able to hear me so far, and are you able to see the screen? Any issues so far? All good? Hello? Maybe I should see the chat, but I just hope that whatever I spoke so far has been coming along to you. Rohanji, are you able to hear me okay? And the slides? Because I'm going to do the mute. Sorry, I'm going to do music, and I better make sure that you can all hear me. So I'm looking at the chat right now. Okay. So at least I see all good. Okay. All right. Okay. Fine. So I will demonstrate now a composition in Raag by Ragi Bhairav. And this is just to give you an overview, so to speak. This is um, not the this is not the way we present it in the podcast. In the podcast, we go into more detail, more depth about the alap, but this is all about music, and I thought that a presentation about music is not complete unless there is some music presented, and that's why I'm going to give a quick overview. And this is a composition in which um, the poet, who is Paramananda Dasji, is waking up uh, Bal Krishna, meaning the child form of Sri Krishna, and um, it's in Raag by Ragi Bhairav. ॐ ॐ श्री अनन्त हरि नारायण अनन्त हरि नारायण अनन्त हरि अनन्त हरि नारायण अनन्त अनन्त हरि नारायण अनन्त हरि ललित लाल श्री गोपाल ललित लाल श्री गोपाल ललित लाल श्री गोपाल सोइए न प्रातः काल सोइए न सोइए न प्रातः काल सोइए न सोइए न प्रातः काल यशोदा मैया यशोदा मैया लेत बलैया यशोदा मैया लेत बलैया भोर भई वारे भोर भई वारे ललित लाल श्री गोपाल ललित लाल श्री गोपाल ललित लाल उठो देव करूं सेव उठो देव 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 उठो देव करूं सेव जागिए देवाधिदेव जागिए देवाधिदेव नंदराय दोहत गाय नंदराय दोहत गाय पीजिए पय प्यारे पीजिए पय प्यारे ललित लाल श्री गोपाल ललित लाल श्री गोपाल लाल गोपाल रवि की किरण प्रगट भई रवि की किरण प्रगट भई उठो लाल निशा गई उठो लाल निशा गई दधि मथत जहाँ तहाँ, दधि मथत जहाँ तहाँ, गावत गुण तिहारे, गावत गुण तिहारे, ललित लाल श्री गोपाल, ललित लाल श्री गोपाल। सारे म पनि प म रे म पनि सा नि प म पनि सा रे सा नि प पनि सा रे सा नि प म रे नि रे सा नि सा। ललित लाल श्री गोपाल, नंद कुमार उठे विहस, नंद कुमार उठे विहस, कृपा दृष्टि सब पे बरस, कृपा दृष्टि सब पे बरस, जुगल चरण कमलन पर, जुगल चरण कमलन पर, परमानंद वारे, परमानंद वारे, ललित लाल श्री गोपाल, ललित लाल, ललित लाल, ललित लाल श्री गोपाल। Yeah, so this was a quick introduction to Raag Bairagi Bhairav. I tried to sing the sargams. Sa re ma pa ni sa, sa re ma pa ni sa re sa ni pa ma re ma pa ni sa ma re, ni re sa ni sa pa ni re sa pa ni re sa pa ni re sa. So that is Bairagi Bhairav. And let's move forward to the next period of the day. Right, so this is the late morning or the afternoon period, starting from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. So the needs of the body are digesting the food and circulating the energy in the body. The emphasis at this time or during this time period is on the Madhyam and the Pancham swars. There are two Madhyams actually, Shuddha Madhyam, Tivra Madhyam and Pancham. So they regulate the Pitta or the Vata movement and improve digestion. So the result is that you feel active, there is better digestion and utilization of the food intake. So the ragas that are commonly sung or presented in this period, it's the Sarang family of ragas, the Bilawal family, and also some specific ragas I've pointed out here, Multani, Madhuvanti, Bhimpalasi and Patadeep. These are all very commonly sung or played ragas, and the benefits are that it improves the digestion and blood circulation in the body. Now besides these attributes, Madhuvanti for instance is also known for reducing the BP, the blood pressure, and I will illustrate Madhuvanti with a composition that I wrote a few years ago, and it's Devi Saraswati, Aiye Maname. Very often we musicians, we pray to Devi Saraswati and seek her blessings in whatever we are doing. So it was written from that point of view. One second, let me adjust the lay here and the tanpura. So a quick overview of Madhuvanti. Again, some of these we have done in our podcasts in greater detail, but I just want to show you a rough sketch of Madhuvanti. Om Shri. See, in Mewati Gharana, we always do our alap with Om Shri Ananta Harinarayana. So it comes naturally that I start with Om Shri Ananta Harinarayana. Om Shri Ananta ananta Hari Narayana Ananta Hari Narayana Narayana Ananta Hari Narayana Narayana. I'll illustrate the swars also. Sa sa ni sa ga sa re sa ga ma pa. Those are the madhyam and pancham that I mentioned earlier. Sa ga ma pa ga ma pa dha pa ma ga ga ma pa ni sa dha pa ma pa ga re sa re ni sa देवी सरस्वती आई ये मन में देवी सरस्वती आई ये मन में देवी सरस्वती आई ये मन में दास तुम्हारो निसदिन तरसे दास तुम्हारो निसदिन तरसे देवी सरस्वती आई ये मन में देवी सरस्वती हाथ में वीणा तही मधुर बाजे हाथ में वीणा अतहि मधुर बाजे सात स्वरों में ब्रह्म समाये आज मैं कैसे गाऊं राह दिखाइए आज मैं कैसे गाऊं राह दिखाइए हाथ में वीणा अतहि मधुर बाजे हाथ में वीणा अतहि मधुर बाजे सात स्वरों में ब्रह्म समाये आज मैं कैसे गाऊं राह दिखाइए देवी सरस्वती आइए मन में देवी सरस्वती देवी सरस्वती देवी सरस्वती Okay, so this is a quick demonstration of Madhuvanti, and we move forward to talk about the evening and night ragas. So here the objective is to remove or overcome anxiety, bring the restless mind under control. So Marwa, Purvi families of ragas, Kalyan, Kafi and Khamaj. These are very commonly sung or played. Let me stop the tanpura so you can hear. So the result is that you want to feel pleasant, you want to feel hopeful, because sometimes the evening it casts a shadow on your mind, and the mind needs to feel hopeful, the mind needs to feel calm, and the mind also needs to feel relaxed, and the body needs to feel relaxed because the body is tired after all the hustle and bustle during the daytime, all the activities during the daytime. So the evening ragas make you feel good, calm and hopeful and also relaxed. I'll present Raag Yaman, very popular rag, which I'm sure you have heard. But and let's see how we are doing with respect to time. I think I'll sing just a very short just one verse of this composition. It's a long composition. It's actually in one of the podcasts. It's called Shiva Panchakshara Stotram. It's Namah Shivaya. Each stanza of the song starts with one letter of the uh, chant Namah Shivaya. So the first stanza starts with Na, the second with Ma, the third with Shi, the fourth with Va, and the fifth one with Ya. So I'll just do the first two stanzas just to give you some idea. And again, we have done this in the podcast. Um, mm, mm, Om Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Nagendra Haraya Trilochanaaya Bhasmangaragaya Maheshwaraya Nagendraharaya Trilochanaaya Bhasmangaragaya Maheshwaraya Nityaya Shuddhaya Digambaraya Nityaya Shuddhaya Digambaraya Tasmai Nakaraya Namah Shivaya 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 Mandakini Salila Chandana Charachitaya Mandakini Salila Chandana Charachitaya Nandishwara Pramathanatha Maheshwaraya Mandara Pushpa Bahu Pushpa Supujitaya Tasmai Makaraya Namah Shivaya Tasmai Makaraya Namah Shivaya Tasmai Makaraya Namah Shivaya Tasmai Makaraya Namah Shivaya 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 Namah Shivaya. That's a quick introduction to Rag Yaman and a composition in that. It's a famous, popular stotra called Shiva Panchakshara Stotra. And finally, we come to the late night, early dawn time frame. And in that, we need to calm down, we need to get sleep, we need to distribute energy in the body. So the emphasis here is on putting the mind at ease. So Rag Darbari, Bageshri, Malkaus, these are often mentioned as remedies for sleeplessness, to help you gravitate towards sleep, to give you a better grounding, and so that you can fall asleep. Often Soni, Paraj, and Bhairavi are used also. Um, Bhairavi actually is effective any time of the day and night. In the interest of time, I think I'll not sing a regular composition in Malcolm's, but I'll just give you a quick overview of the Aroha and Avroha, because at least you will get a feel for the rag. Um, I wanted to sing a tarana in this rag Malkons, but I think we might save some time. Um, so,
Sir, it's up to you when it comes to time.
pardon, pardon.
I said it's up to you if it comes to time.
Huh. Okay.
We
Very
have
good.
about 10 minutes or so, and we only have two questions so far. So
I
I
see.
would leave it up to you to
Okay.
utilize the time as much as you like.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you. Thank you. I'll sing the swars so that way you'll get some idea right away. Sa 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 ni ni da da ni sa sa ni da ma 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 da ni ni ma da ni da ni sa da ni sa ga sa ga sa ga sa ni da ni sa da ni sa ga ma 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 ga sa ga ma ga sa ga ma ga sa ni da ni sa ma ga sa ni da sa ni ga sa ma ga sa da ni sa ga ma ma da ni sa ga ma ga ma dha ma ga ma dha dha ni dha ma ga ma dha ni ni dha ni dha ma ga ma dha ma ga ma ga sa ni da ni sa ni ga sa sa ga ma dha ni ni da ma dha sa ni da da ma ga ma dha ni 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 sa ni ga ma dha ni ni sa da ni sa da ni da ma ga ma dha ni 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 da ni sa ga ma da ni da ni sa sa ni sa da ni sa da ni sa ma da ni sa ga ma da ni sa ma sa ni da ma ga ma da ma ga ma ga sa ni da ni sa ga ma da ni sa ga sa da ni sa ga ga sa ni da ni sa ga ma ga sa ni da ni ni sa da ni sa ni dha ma ga ma dha ma ga sa ni dha ni sa dha ni sa ga sa dha ni sa dha ni sa. Quick overview of the tarana. Quick over. O dana dana tana dere na. O dana dana. O dana dana tana dere na. O dana dana tana dere na. O dana dana tana dere na. O dana dana tana dere nadim tum tana nadim. Dar 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 tani tadani dinu din tana dinu dina di motiyana de tadare dare o dana dana tana dere na o dana dana tana dere na. Da 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 dim tum ta na 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 ta u da ta na da 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 dim tum ta na 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 ta u da ta na ta di ya na de ta di ya na de ta di ya na de. Ghirta ghirta ghiranna dada ghirta ghirta ghiranna dada dhakar dhana dada o dana dana tana dere na o dana dana tana dere nadim tum tana nadim. Da 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 tani tadani dinu din tana dinu dina di motiyana de tadare dare o dana dana tana dere na o dana dana o dana dana o dana dana tana dere na. That was a brief introduction. I wanted to amplify it a little bit more, but that's okay. We'll do it some other time. So, a few thoughts about ragas for improving mental health. This is just based on my very quick research about what kind of disorders are typically faced. And these are mood disorders, anxiety, psychotic, post-traumatic stress disorders, personality disorders, eating disorders, and neurodevelopment. So, mood disorders often lead to loss of interest, depression, etc. Anxiety results into panic attacks, lot of stress, sleeplessness. Psychotic disorders, people lose touch with reality. There is distorted thinking. They have hallucinations. Post-traumatic disorders, very often soldiers experience this. They have flashbacks, they have nightmares. Personality disorders are intense emotions, unstable emotions, need for admiration. Eating disorders are about not eating too much or eating very little or emptying out the stomach every so often. And neurodevelopment is about attention deficits, hyperactivity, impulsivity, etc. So, in all of these, the prescribed medication is important. Of course, patients ought to continue that. But in addition to that, our music helps a lot of it helps in a lot of ways, whether it's stabilizing the mood, whether it's grounding, and that's where the alap comes to help. The swaras, they uh, they help in giving the peace and quiet that the mind needs. The swaras also soothe. So the soothing, uplifting feeling that you get after listening to the alap, after listening to a composition, that gives the listener hope, focus, and direction. And so active listening is important, and it can also be accompanied by singing. if possible, perhaps the scale is a little different, but at least if you have a harmonium or if you have a synthesizer at home, you can sing what you are listening. You can sing with whatever you are listening to. You can even do humming. You can play on the synthesizer. You can play on the keyboard, or if you have a piano or any kind of or harmonium, which is quite possible, quite likely. So you can play using these instruments that will create active involvement. I would also suggest, in order to keep focus, one rag at a time. I demonstrated 4 ragas. There are so many ragas. There are almost 450 ragas that my Bade Guruji used to know. But we are not going to attempt to master all the 450. But if we can at least listen to one rag for 2 weeks. So, as an example, based on the demonstration I just gave, let's say you listen to Bhairav for 2 weeks, Madhuvanti for 2 weeks, then Yaman for 2 weeks, and then Malcolms for 2 weeks. It gives the listener some kind of a grounding. It gives some kind of a foundation. It will help in building up on that foundation. So focus on the alap and swars, not just the song. And I would suggest making music a part of the daily routine. That really helps. Very often people start some initiative, but then they get busy or whatever. But music therapy is one such thing where it's not a quick fix. It's not like a tablet that you can chew and that will cure the symptom, but it will act as a supplement to the medication. It will act as a stabilizing force to the body and the mind, right? So in that sense, the dosage might come down a little bit because your body has stabilized, or some of the side effects. By the way, music does not have any side effects, and what I meant to say was the side effects of the medication um, may be improved because of music. So music has its own benefits, but to be able to get those benefits, there is some kind of persistence and determination that would be required. Now, in addition to just stabilizing and soothing, there are experiments done, and this is a quick list of ragas and diseases or disorders. So hypertension, for instance, both Madhuvanti and Yaman. I don't intend to go through this entire list, but I'm just saying that over the last few years, there are experiments done, and music therapists know, and they know which ragas are helpful for which disorders. So very often we run into people and they ask certain questions. That's why we have the slide. Acidity, for instance, Komal Rishabh, Asavri and Jaunpuri, they are effective. I have marked in the third column here which podcasts are already available and some are planned. So that's just to show that besides the common effects such as soothing and stabilizing, there are specific uses of these ragas that I have listed here. So a quick overview of the CureTune mobile app. So this is an app that recommends a music podcast based on a disorder. So if you type, for instance, acidity, or if you type sleeplessness, or even if you just type sleep, just like you type in your search bar, it will come back with a recommendation. It will also come back with a recommendation based on the time of the day. So if it's the night time, it might recommend certain ragas based on the time of the day, because that way it will be more effective for your mind and body. So the podcasts, which feature both vocal and instrumental music, about 20 to 30 minutes long. It's actually not more than 30 minutes at all. So that will be played. And by the way, this is all through the app. The app will go to a server where the podcast is stored. So the focus is on the alap for its healing properties. A bandish or bhajan is also included. The disorders we have covered, I already mentioned in that table, but just to summarize, mental peace, sluggishness, acidity, blood pressure, asthma, diabetes, sleeplessness, energy, immunity, and heat. Especially in the summertime, we got inquiries about how to manage heat, and we recently did Raag Shuddha Sarang that will bring some type of coolness to your mind and body. For any type of feedback or questions, you can send an email to emailcuretune@gmail.com. So if you send an email to that email
Thank you,
address,
Suhasji.
we'll
I
send you the
have shared
instructions.
the link for, sorry to cut you off. I've
Yeah,
shared the link for both the podcast as well as the app on the
yeah,
chat. And we
yeah.
will be sharing
Perfect.
this on our group chats across the Eklavya platforms. First of
Yeah,
all, I want to thank you very, very much for what
absolutely.
was a
Thank you.
beautiful lecture
Thank you.
demonstration. I think everybody who has
Yeah,
participated will agree that
thank you,
your
Rohanji.
voice is
And
very
started.
beautiful. Sorry, can you hear
Okay,
me?
thank you. Yeah, yeah. Now I can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um.
your voice is very beautiful, and we all enjoyed that. We have a
Okay.
couple of questions, just
Yes.
three of them, if
Uh
it's
huh.
okay with you.
Yes.
So I'll start with the last question first because I think it's very important. It comes from Vanita Patwardhan, who
Yes.
asks, I hope there is a lot of research and backing for all the facts mentioned.
Yes.
Were
Right.
you able to
So,
hear me?
I will say started. I'll make a very brief statement. So the good news is that there is a great deal of research going on now. People are slowly taking interest in Indian classical music and how swaras and ragas can help uh, the mind and the body. There are research studies available on the internet. So, for instance, for Rag Puria, there is a study available and it showed how the heart rate variability was reduced uh, by listening to Puria. Similarly, there is research available on Hamsadhvani and so on and so forth. So, there is plenty of studies going on. So, that's the good news. The not so good news is that it's not at the level of a clinical trial that pharmaceutical companies do. So, for instance, when the drug is tested, they test it across hundreds and thousands of patients. So at that level, but it's starting, and we are hopeful that there will be more and more studies. But good question. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I think the next two questions are very related, and I would refer both Jayashri and Sharvari both to the podcast and the app, but you could maybe answer them very briefly. So Jayashri asked, this is very useful for sorry, I'm trying to figure out her question. I'll go to Sharvili first. Sharvili asks, can you please advise what kind of music can help with somebody with a sedentary lifetime, overworked, stress, anger issues, diabetes, hypertension? Similarly, Jayashri asks about the same question, but regarding disturbed people who are depressed, aggressive, ADHD. So I think the app would be a good place to direct them. Um,
Absolutely. Absolutely. And although I'll take the opportunity to briefly answer. So diabetes and blood pressure, you can even type the word diabetes in the app, and it will suggest Rakshri. For BP, as I mentioned, Madhuvanti and Yaman, they are both recommended. Now, for the restless mind, okay, my suggestion is to listen to a particular rag which is suitable for that time of the day. Let me explain. If you listen to rag Ahir Bhairav in the night time, for instance, let's say at 10:30, 11 o'clock, you are in bed and you are trying to fall asleep, and you listen to rag Ahir Bhairav, that will not help. Rag Ahir Bhairav will try to activate your mind and you will not be able to fall asleep. So at that time, you better listen to Darbari or Malkons or Bhageshri, as I mentioned. So my point is, for restlessness, for any kind of ADHD, those kind of issues, I recommend listening to the rag that is suitable for that time of the day. So if it is afternoon, you can listen to Rag Shuddha Sarang. That's fine. Again, the alap will make a good influence on your mind, and it will sort of slow down your mind if it's restless, right? At the same time, if you are looking for energy, it will give you the energy, because ultimately, look at it this way: the musician is having some vibrations in their mind, in their brain, and they're transferring those vibrations to you. So hopefully they are positive, and they will be good to the listener. That's the idea.
Thank you so much, Suhashji, on behalf of everybody who has joined this session, but especially on behalf of those of us who volunteer for Eklavya Foundation for Mental Health. This has been a wonderful session that you have conducted, and I am sure that we will love to have you back in a couple of months to expound
Absolutely.
upon this.
Y-
So do keep in touch with us, and thank you again so much. In terms of a brief announcement, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Rohan Gupta. I am a volunteer with Eklavya Foundation for Mental Health. I work with the English self-help group, which is for both Shubhartis and Shubhankars, which means care seekers as well as caregivers. We usually meet on Wednesdays between 7 to 8 p.m. If you have any questions about this group or the other Marathi group, please do reach out to Manjari, who is part of this meeting, as well as me. Somebody from Eklavya would have invited you. So do keep in touch. If we help each other, I think we can take care of each other and our relatives, our friends, and our community, our society, and then we can all be well adjusted and listen to wonderful music that Suhasji has recommended for us. So thank you, everybody. I will be sharing this as Manjari mentioned. This video, this talk was recorded. Once it's uploaded onto YouTube, you will get a link everywhere. If you do have questions, do reach out to either of us. We will post them onwards to Swasji. And again, on behalf of Eklavya, thank you so many of you for joining us. We had about 67, 70 people joining us at one point. I know it's dinner time, and so I'll let you all go. And Suhasji, thank you for joining us early morning from the East Coast of United States.
Yes, it's already about 10:40 in the morning. So yeah. So, but it was good. I enjoyed it. And again, if Ekalavya Foundation decides to do another webinar like this, I would be very happy to do it. Music. It's again, we are doing social service through music, and if someone gets benefited, then it's worthwhile to do all this. So, thank you very much for inviting me, and I'll be happy to do it again. Thank you.
Thank you, Suhasji. Again, I'm going to leave this meeting open, but go on mute so you can look through the chat and look at the links because I posted both the podcast link as well as the app link. So I'm going to give you guys about 5 minutes to go through the chat and look at those. Put them on your phones, your emails, wherever, download the apps, and we'll also, as I said, be posting them on WhatsApp. Thank you, everybody. Good
Great.
night.
Thank you and goodbye. Bye bye.